What's the minimum amount of stuff I need to still have a comfortable and stylish trip? That's a question I asked myself the night before a December weekend trip to Hamilton, Ontario, just outside of Toronto. In this video, I'll share my tips for packing super light for a weekend trip in one bag only. Let's go! Weekend trips are typically around 36 hours and 2 nights. You leave on Friday, return on Sunday. But even if it's a short trip, you can still fit in a variety of activities that may require different clothing. For my recent trip, I was flying from Montreal to Toronto, taking the train to Hamilton, visiting friends I hadn't seen since before the pandemic, and on the way back to the airport on Sunday, stopping in Toronto at another friend's house for a visit before flying home. That means my main activities were hanging out, eating, and taking the train and plane and walking around. So, what do I really need to wear for this kind of trip? Something warm because it's December, but not too bulky because I don't want to overheat while schlepping my stuff through trains, planes, and automobiles, and buses too. But in order to fit winter clothes into one bag, I adopted a super minimalist approach, which was I wore the same thing the entire weekend. Not exactly, because I did switch out underwear, socks, and base layers, but my jeans, sweater, boots, and coat were exactly the same. For my base layers, I only packed merino wool socks, underwear, and t-shirts, and a pair of leggings to sleep in. And that was it. I packed it all in this away pouch. Once I got to my friend's house, I unpacked it all and used the pouch as a dirty laundry bag as I used each base layer. These layers gave me the flexibility to shed a layer if I was too hot or mix and match for the right amount of warmth. Bringing only one outfit can be risky for sure, but since I was going to a city and staying with friends, I knew I would be able to use a washing machine, borrow something, or buy something worst case scenario. Now, what if I had more variety in my activities, but still needed to or wanted to pack light? Well, my advice would be to pack for the activity that has the most specific and important clothing need and go from there. Going hiking that weekend, I'd focus on packing all the equipment and layers that I needed for that, and then pack around that. If I'd had a fancy dinner on my weekend trip, maybe I would have made one of my base layers a nice top instead of a regular t-shirt and brought some nice earrings. I also think a simple sheer shirt can be a super versatile and super thin addition if you're trying to have a fancy option without additional bulk. Moving on to cosmetics and my tips for super duper light packing in this area. Number 1, this is the time for all your samples. If you are only packing for 2 nighttime skincare routines, bust out those free samples you got with your purchase recently. But you can also just pump a few squirts of your product into tiny jars and vials. If you've saved any minis from kits or airplane goodie bags, this is also your time to use them. Now, hairstyling routines can be a trickier topic if you're the type of person to shampoo every day or every other day, blow dry and style your hair, and do all of that regularly. That's not me, clearly, so I have an advantage in that case. I have dry, curly hair and I shampoo every 3 days. So I washed my hair right before leaving and didn't bring shampoo or conditioner with me. I did bring dry shampoo and one styling product though. And I kind of wet my curls and reactivate the product that's in it, add more if I need to, and let it air dry. But I also recommend having a few updos handy for trips where you really don't want to pack any styling supplies. If styling your hair is really important to you, you can usually fit one small hairdryer in a bag, or maybe your flat iron if that's like the one tool that you absolutely need. As for makeup, I will say that I had just gotten my eyelashes lifted and tinted and my eyebrows done, so I was feeling pretty good about not needing eyebrow and eye makeup. I was, however, experiencing some pretty bad breakouts on my chin, so most of my makeup was concealer and powder. In any case, I do like small palettes and 2-in-1 makeup and other mini travel-friendly items. As for tech, I did bring my computer on this trip, which I could have left at home, but I had a few ongoing projects I wanted to catch up on the train and while waiting for my flights, so I needed it. But if you are just really going for leisure, your phone, your iPad are pretty much all you need, or a camera if you're really trying to get content as well. There are some chargers that have kind of a 3-in-1 port to them, so you can charge your MacBook as well as your iPhone and maybe your Apple Watch. One thing I did is I did bring enough cables for each of my devices, except for the ones that had the same cable, and I just swapped them out. So when I wasn't wearing my watch, I was charging it, and when I wasn't using my phone, I was charging it. So that's one way also to kind of cut down on additional bulk. If you're really trying to streamline your tech, just bring your phone and a charger. Or you can bring kind of those 3-in-1 chargers or those 3-in-1 charging cables and only be charging the device that you're not using, so you don't have to bring a cable for every single device that you have. The other thing that I had to do to streamline my packing was really kind of to cut out any things that I didn't absolutely need. So rather than bringing my reusable water bottle, I just ended up kind of stopping and having water at cafes or buying a water bottle and refilling it when I could. I know it's not great, but for this time I did it. Was my bag heavy? Yes, I won't lie. But I was pretty happy with my choices when it was time to hustle from the bus to the airport in Montreal, take the plane, then take the shuttle from the airport to the train station, then take the train, and do that all in reverse on my way home. I packed one purse that I wore most of the time and had my wallet, mask, hand sanitizer, lip balm, and other small everyday essentials in it. So I had my purse, I had my one carry-on, and I shoved everything else in my pockets. And that's how I traveled on my most recent 36-hour weekend trip. What are your best tips for lightweight weekend travel? Leave them in the comments below. This is probably my last video before Christmas, so happy holidays to everyone, and if you are traveling, safe travels. See you in the next video, and see you in the new year. Thanks for watching this video until the end. For more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the Capsule Suitcase and turn on notifications so you get all the fresh content as soon as it comes out. Thanks for supporting this channel. Happy travels!